then I just pushed it myself. It was like a riot thing. It was not an explosion, it was smooth, but it was like really needed. Describing your process is always complicated. In these last three, like triptych work that I'm working on, I try to push myself a little bit forward from the previous one, and it's like I discovered something that I was looking for a long time, that I couldn't get to it, and I was like hesitating all the time if I should go that way or not. So at the end I took the decision. It was sharp, and all in a sudden it came everything together, and all the pieces like in a puzzle began to join themselves, and it was really liberating. It was a relief, like wow, I made it. It took me months just to make that, because I was like, should I break it, should I break it, or what is the way that I should, because you always hesitate, and you always have this doubt of, is this the way, or I'm just hallucinating and it's not the way that I should follow. But then I made it, and the process began like any other pictures that I do, like writing, like cleaning my brushes on top of the canvases, and making layer after layer, and cleaning and ordering. But there was a point that it didn't work at all, but it was beautiful. And that was the point that I said, no, I don't want that, right? Take out all this beautiful thing. It's not that I'm against beauty, but sometimes it doesn't work. And I said, okay, break it. And then it worked.
What would you say that you broke specifically to make it work?
I cleaned it up, I simplified. I took all these sharpened forms that I used to have, and I broke my own dialogue with the picture, and I tried to stop always saying the same thing. And then I just pushed it myself. It was like a riot thing. It was not an explosion, it was smooth, but it was like really needed. And I felt that I needed it, but I didn't have the courage just to go into it. And all in a sudden it happened. So it was like, it was not like I had a big stroke and I began like that. No, it was like even. It was like crying. Well, then I began crying. I couldn't avoid it. And it was like, it took me months just to take this decision. Actually, when I just, everything began with a square, a blue square that is in the left corner up top. And when I made it, everything worked. But it was like smooth, automatic all the time, working one piece after the other piece. And then that day I had to stop. I stopped it. I was exhausted, and it seems like it's a stupid thing that you're gonna stop exhausted because of that, but it was exhaustion at all.
It almost sounds like an emotional release.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's not only that, it's like an emotional and then professionally too. Like I thought, if I really want to contribute to art in some way, I need to make moves. Moves are always scary though, because you had like, hey, where I'm going, I don't know where I'm going, and actually I don't want to know where I'm going. That's the main thing. But still, I just really need it. I need it.
How did this residency change, embolden, challenge your practice and philosophy?
It has changed a lot. It helped me to evolve. It gave me time to try to understand where I am, where I am too, and where I want to go. And I haven't just discovered yet where I'm gonna go, but it opened a way that I think is important, and it helped me to have time to develop everything that I was trying to develop, and maybe you couldn't because you didn't have the time to do that the way you should do. Mm-hmm. So, and then the relationship with all of you, and this feeling of being sheltered, it helped a lot. I mean, just the fact that you all were coming and talking to me was talking to you, and we were having fun too sometimes. It made me feeling alive, and I really need it before I came. So, in terms of creation, all this matters because it helps you to evolve. Just as simple as that. Is that evolution is important? Not to be stuck all the time or in the same position. So it really helped. And the challenge was that there was a obviously at that time. So I needed to move forward, but then it's good pressure and it's good stress because it forces you to move. Otherwise, we artists are very easily going sometimes, right? And you can be distracted by so many things that if they give you all the time, you get distracted. But this way was all the contrary. So I was free, and then the main thing, I'm free to create the way I want to create, and this is a gift. I hate giving advices to everybody, and then you can skip all this. You have to, you should, you would, you may, you might, whatever you want, right? Is that you understand each other just as a first sight, and that's very important. That's why this is working too. It's part of the human thing, and nobody's telling you what to do, what not to do. It's that we all know what to do, and it's like it's like a piece of music, or just like a ballet, and we are all dancing in the same stage, right? But we all dance our dance personally, but we are coordinated with all the dancers from the others, and that's respect. So for work like that, it works a lot. I think. Yeah, absolutely. So I chose the title "Dreams Daring to Be Dreams." We were talking before about how interaction will help to each other, right? And I was explaining to you that we are a little bit like a dance group, like a ballet, because we interact, but we are in the same play all together. So we don't have these interruptions that you may have in some other places. And that's one of the reasons that's why I chose the title. Because I see this relationship with all of you and even this project as a part of a piece that we all make together. And that's very important just in terms of creation too. Could be a little bit poetic, but it's the way it is to me. At least that's the way I feel it.
I think that the thing that really sent us off on that tangent too was that you said you should do that, or do this, like that should be taken out of vocabulary.
Modal verbs, I hate them.
How do you view your relationship with your body and health and working / production / creation?
All connected. It's all connected. Emotions and physical attitude gets all connected. You force yourself until you get really exhausted, because emotionally speaking requires a physical effort to do what you're doing. And if you really want to get concentrated, you really need to get into it. So it's not only that your brain is working, but it's just even your physical position towards the canvas when you're working. And it's exhausting because you're forcing yourself all the time. It's not only that you're just using your brush, but it's much more than that. So it really affects you. I mean, and even being there, that concentrate and isolated into this isolation of noise and everything, puts yourself into it much more. So it's really, I mean, it's not hard, it's a pleasure. It's nice tiredness though. I like to be tired this way, but you go home and you don't sleep. That's the way it is. So, and this is one day after the other because you get home with all the thoughts from your work from the day before, and you really need to get into the next day to try to solve what you thought that you may solve. So it's like a chain. It's like this mouse in the wheel that it never ends, and it's always like running like that. It's exactly the same. But I like it. I don't care. I mean, if this is the way it is, it is.
It may feel like that, but you are getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, then you have a day off and it's over. But it's never over.
I liked what you wrote about the feeling of feeling.
The feeling of feelings. Well, feeling of feelings is that for me is the only way I know to understand life. So if you don't feel what you do, you cannot make it. And I need to breathe. To me, this is freedom. Learning, as we said on that speech we had, right? Learning to make room to things you don't need and acquire new feedbacks and new things that may be useful for you, right? And this helps you to, let's say, to breathe in terms of being yourself, no matter what, trying to overcome situations, even thoughts, and even personal opinions from others. I mean, this is not therapy, but it helps, right?
Yeah.
So art leads you, to me, is a lesson for freedom, among many other things. But for freedom in terms of not only that you're expressing your ideas or opinions or whatever, just yourself, your personal freedom. That's what I think is very important. So it's allowing you to feel, and we are not taught to feel. We are taught to be, and that's it. That's what's feeling of feelings for me.
What do you expect of yourself? This is your question to yourself.
Wow. A lot of things and nothing at the same time. Contradictory, right? You know, I really expect from myself to be honest with the work I do, and to be okay with myself in terms of what I do professionally. And there's something important here. I want to contribute to the art world. I want to give something. I want to be part of it, and show not only what I do but why I do it, and if it helps to others, much better. That's what I expect from myself to do. And then I would like to expect from myself to learn to say yes and no when you have to say yes and no. That I still struggle with that. And just to be okay. I'm not gonna use the word happy. I don't believe in happiness. Happiness is just a moment. But just to be okay. Just waking up every morning and say, well, another day and let's go.
Yeah, it's unfair to expect happiness
Yeah.
from yourself,
Right.
from anything.
Yeah, but expecting happiness from yourself very often is just simple things. Having this conversation with you, this is happiness for me. It is. And these are pieces of treasure that people probably don't understand that. That's what I expect from myself. Being able to have this time, because this is quality time. And people normally don't have the chances, that opportunity to talk this way, right? We rush everywhere. We just have many things to do every day, so that they pass and then another one. So that's what I expect from myself. Maybe talking less, I talk a lot. But I talk a lot when I'm interested in what we're talking. When the person with me He's an interesting person with an interesting conversation. That's my talk about.
What is next for Natxo?
All right. Well, evolving, trying to put myself in evolution. Trying to have new challenges, if it's possible. If it's possible here, it's better. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. I need to breathe. To learn to be back to live. And I'm saying that I'm not living, but I struggle with the sense of I was forgetting myself or from myself. And I think I really need to be aware that I can do things too, right? So this is my challenge, my goal for now, and that is a lot.
It is a lofty goal.
I know. Just try to get back to real life. If there is a real life out there, I don't know, but yeah, and to have this sensation that you're really a person, even being a character, but a person. I'm feeling is that's important. But breathe is freedom for me, and sometimes you forget breathing.